Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Ikoyi, Osun State.
The National Association of Scrap and Waste Dealers of Nigeria have given unregistered dealers a 2-week ultimatum. The association will face legal consequences. Addressing Newsmen in Lagos, Chairman, National Caretaker Committee of the association, Seriki Soja, noted that the full-scale enforcement will take effect at the expiration of the ultimatum. According to him, the aim is to boost scrap business in Nigeria and improve the image of the association. Mr. Soja says the association planned to work with law enforcement agencies to crack down on unregistered dealers and those involved in illegal activities.
We are calling everybody should come and join anybody doing this business in and out, so that we are coming for them. We are coming for them if they are not come for us. So we are just trying to make awareness, and we are entering by the special grace of God 2025. So no going back by God's grace. If God spare our life to see them, inshallah, we are going to take an action against them, because nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. You must come and join. Let the whole nation know who you are.
No, we are not leaving no stone unturned. We are taking this stride, in fact, a stringent stride to ensure that all criminals hiding under our businesses to perpetrate crime, we are letting you know that we are leaving no stone unturned. Because as we speak, we are creating a strong database to checkmate the excesses. And this will ensure that we have easier identification of genuine and legitimate scrap dealers. And for now, I don't see ourselves as scrap dealers. I see ourselves as traders of recyclables or recyclers. We need to upgrade ourselves.
Under the umbrella of Comrade Ibrahim Soja, are working tirelessly in order to put an end to all these bad eggs, giving us a bad name. It is the responsibility of the state chairman to relate with their executives. That is the reason why we have the executive councils and the task force team that are managing the atmosphere of all these hoodlums.
Now to some sports stories. Anfield will be set aflame as English Premier League rivals Liverpool and Manchester United fight for all 3 points at Merseyside. Arne Slot's men hold a massive 23-point advantage over their longtime rivals in the top flight table as the Reds continue their pursuit of stardom, while Ruben Amorim's troops peer nervously over their shoulders at the regulation waters. Manchester United will be without Marcus Rashford for the clash due to illness. In other fixtures, Tottenham face Newcastle United, Bournemouth play Everton, Chelsea travel to play Crystal Palace, Manchester City welcome West Ham United, while Arsenal tackle Brighton. And on Sunday, Fulham welcome Ipswich Town. In the Italian Serie A, Venezia face Empoli. Fiorentina take on Napoli, while Verona tackle Udinese. And on Sunday, Cagliari face Monza. Genoa play Lecce. Parma visits Torino, while Roma welcome Lazio in Rome Derby. And that's TVC News this hour. Thank you very much for watching.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century, speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to Journalists Hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays 1:30 p.m.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Again, wishing you a happy new year filled with joy, love, laughter, and all the best. Welcome to Business Nigeria. These are the top stories we are tracking for you at this time. DMO, that's Debt Management Office, says federal government made adequate budgetary provisions to meet local and foreign debt obligations, as ACCI expresses confidence for business and economic growth in 2025. Asian shares get off to a rocky start in 2025 on Trump's trepidation. On our show today, the first segment will stay around the global economy. Despite an improvement in near-term prospects, the global outlook remains subdued by geopolitical tensions, trade fragmentations, higher for longer interest rates, and climate-related disasters. What are the key charts underpinning economic prospects for 2025? Well, that'll be on the first half of the show. What will the global economy look like in 2025? Well, interesting conversation, I must tell you, on the flip side. And today, on the other side, we'll dig deep into President Bola Tinubu's New Year message. It was filled with a lot of developmental issues, economic issues. We'll break into that speech and also try to understand more and what Nigerians should expect moving forward in the year 2025. We'll touch on markets, and at the end of the day, we'll tell you what the oil prices are looking like, considering what's happening geopolitically. But let's start with some news making headlines before we get to talk. The Debt Management Office says the federal government has made adequate budgetary provisions to meet the country's foreign and local debt obligations. The DMO said this in a statement made available in Abuja. According to the Office of the Nigerian Debt Management, practice is in accordance with relevant legislations and regulations in compliance with international practices. It says Nigeria had over the years serviced its external and domestic debt promptly, which had made the federal government securities attractive to foreign and local investors, citing the recent successful priced $2.2 billion Euro bond in the international capital markets, which received a subscription of over $9 billion. DMO disclosed that the increased investors' interest in the federal government bonds and sukuk bonds and other FGN securities attest to the country's strict adherence to best practices in debt management. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, said that the successful issuance of the Eurobonds signposts increased confidence in the ongoing efforts of the government to stabilize the Nigerian economy. Meanwhile, the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry has expressed optimism for significant business growth and economic development in 2025. The Chamber's president, Dr. Emeka Obegolo, made this known in his New Year message to Nigerians, particularly the business community across the countries. The senior advocate of Nigeria applauds the resilience of business community in overcoming the economic challenges in 2024, while commending commitment of innovation and growth, expressing hope for renewed opportunities in the new year. Still on Nigeria's business environment, and we look at what's been happening with regards to President Bola Tinubu's speech. That's the New Year's speech. Yes, the President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians of their resolve to boost food production and reduce inflation on food and drugs to 15%, while strengthening the economy in 2025. In his New Year message to the nation, President Tinubu highlighted economic growth indicators, including lower fuel prices, rising foreign reserves, and stronger naira as signs of progress in 2024 that would continue in 2025. Well, Mr. President says, and I quote, he says, economic indicators point to a positive and encouraging outlook for our nation. Said fuel prices have gradually decreased, and Nigeria has recorded foreign trade surpluses in 3 consecutive quarters. The president added that Nigeria's stock markets recorded growth and had generated trillions of naira in wealth, adding that the surge in investment and, of course, foreign investment reflected renewed confidence in Nigeria's economy. Let's join Nabila Mohammed. She's an investment analyst with Chapel Hill, Denham. Nabila, thank you so much. Happy New Year. It's really good to see you.
Happy New Year, Mr. Tulu. Thank you for having me.
I think we should start with that speech. I know you've seen it. You've read through it. There are a lot of topics, or let me say a lot of indicators, yes, let me say economic indicators in that speech that we could touch on one after the other. But let me ask you what it means to you in its entirety. What message does that speech send to you, considering what we've seen in 2024 and what we expect in 2025?
So the first key message that I got from the speech of the president on the New Year's Day was the fact that his administration is still bent on pursuing and to the latter the current policies that we saw started in 2024. So they explained that they are still on track in terms of the fact that they were able to achieve the removal of fuel subsidy, and they still intend to stick to that policy. They were able to achieve the unification of the FX in that FX market, and they are still intended on driving inflation down to 15%, which in my view is a tall order, but that just reinforced the whole notion of what the policies they have done and what the current administration stands for. And it just simply shows that there is no going back in terms of everything that we have seen materialize last year, and we would see it continue this year in terms of what we have started as well. So that is the key message I got from the speech of the president, that everything that has been started in terms of policy reform and across economic indicators is going to still continue this year, and all we need to address economic issues the best way that we can.
The economic indicators really pointing to looking positive. Now, let's identify some of them. Foreign trade surplus, we've seen that, of course, for 3 consecutive quarters. Foreign reserves raising about $40.2 billion US, I think, as at November ending or something. The naira also strengthened against the US dollar, closing the year at about 1,005 something, close to about 1,600, at least better than where it started from. Looking at this point, you as an investment analyst, how does it come to you and what do you make of them?
So let's just look at these indicators and identify some of the policies that they actually started. Now, if we look at the FX market, we saw a lot of interventions by CBN. We saw a number of circulars addressing the transparency and allowing for more involvement in the FX market, allowing players. We saw circulars regarding the premium or margin that BDCs are going to be able to add when there is an intervention. We also saw the restructuring that is going to materialize this year, mid-year, for the PVC segment. We saw the introduction of the Bloomberg Match, which I believe all these just sums up to the fact that we are seeing that appreciation. First of all, stability, I would say, and eventually an appreciation. And this is a welcome development. And as you mentioned, in terms of trade surplus, yes, in fact, if we go back 4 quarters earlier than the 3 quarters of 2024 that we have seen the trade data. It's actually 8 consecutive quarters of trade surplus that we have been recording, and it is a positive thing. In the long run, all these interventions will not be sustainable if we do not have improved export earnings. So in terms of effects, yes, we are starting to see that improvement. Now, in terms of economic growth, we recognize that all through last year, the 3 quarters of economic GDP growth that we did see, it was largely sectors that were not oil producing that were contributing the most to economic growth. I'm talking about financial services, I'm talking about other sectors that are not oil and gas. So that just simply sends a message that into 2025, we should expect to see more policy reforms, which I believe the president alluded to a bit when he mentioned that they are going to be looking at agriculture, looking at improving food production, even production and manufacturing of drugs. So all these will then address not just our effects, it will also in a way reduce or tame inflation, but that 15% is quite tall, so we do not know if that 15% is going to materialize, but a lot of things really have to go into the planning and making sure that these indicators fall within the anticipated outcomes based on what the government has budgeted for.
And now the president late yesterday, I think, he met with the governors, and he told them that they are the closest links to the people. That's the governors, and of course the local government chairpersons and all of that. And he really wants them to work hand in hand with him with regards to agriculture, taking advantage of all of this, how they can trickle down to the masses. What message was that sent to you, and what more do you think Nigerians need kind of support from the sub-nationals